Okay, Travis Wayne Goodsell. It's early in the morning, and I got my run in, so I'm in the cool down phase before I have breakfast and then get ready for the day. So I've got time. Lemonade, Kroger's lemonade, the powdered kind. Pink lemonade, actually. Good stuff. Get it at your local Smith's or Kroger food stores today. So, as most of you know who come here, I'm critical about the church. And there are guys who like to put thumbs down on my site just because of the title. They don't listen to me. You know, yes, I may be boring, I'm monotone, or whatever excuse you come up with not to listen to me. I'm not a late night comedian. I'm not a Hollywood movie star who's got action, adventure, and awesome movie picture cartoons for you to watch and influence your mind that way. And so, you know, you just have to watch and be educated. Yes, I'm actually kind of smart. That was my degree, was learning how to learn. It's called philosophy of science. I know that's new to you guys here in America. I had to go up to Canada to get that education. So, yeah, they don't teach you logical argument here in the States. They're suppressing your knowledge. They're suppressing your intelligence. Okay, so anyway, the church is also doing that. But, yeah, I mean, I've got billions upon billions of critical videos about the church. And as you're paying attention to my channel, you can see hour, 30 minutes, hour, 45 minutes, hour. The evidence and facts against the church are numerous. And yet, Mormons, you are sticking to it because you created a brand new doctrine after the social media became a reality on the internet. Because it was found out that with the advent of the internet, people were able to present their facts and evidence against the church on a mass scale that had never before been known. You know, previously it was publications and people had to subscribe or buy to the publications through the mail or through bookstores. But with the advent of the internet and social media, people are able to research from the internet. And at first, yes, teachers were like, no, stay with books. Don't cause us to lose our jobs. That's what their motivation was. They didn't want to lose their jobs to the internet. It's the same concept of robotic technology. People don't want to lose their jobs to technology. And there's the classic folk tale of Casey Jones, I believe it is, a black man who was involved in laying railroad track. And as the story goes, mankind creates engines, and engines are able to work faster in creating holes through tunnels and laying track faster than mankind can do. And so I hope it's Casey Jones, but should I Google it to make sure I'm getting the name right? Because I don't want to disrespect his memory. Because this was based on reality, even though it was exaggerated in the story form. Who was the guy who challenged a machine to tunnel through John Henry. That's who it is. An African-American folk hero. A steel-driving man, hammering a steel drill into rock to make holes for explosives to blast the rock in constructing a railroad tunnel. And so, yeah, they've altered the story so that he's actually not just drilling holes for dynamite, he's challenging the machine to actually make the hole itself. And in the end, John Henry loses to the machine, and he ends up dying, I believe. But that has to do with the type of economy we have. We don't have to have the type of economy that we have. You know, people don't get it. You know, they lose their clean coal jobs, which were killing them with mine collapses and the coal mine dust. And then they complain that, hey, you're closing us down. What do we do for work now? Something else? But yeah, that's the economy that is causing the problems that we have. All we have to do is change the economic theory. Remember, I was educated on how to learn how to learn. You know, that's why I was able to go into Beehive Clothing, where I used to work at the distribution center warehouse on 17th and 17th. And they transferred me over to Beehive Clothing because, you know, my supervisor felt bad for my situation because of the divorce that screwed me over big time. And it wasn't really a divorce. She got it after kidnapping the kids, and I've already done the videos on how Utah does not consider kidnapping a kidnapping. And so they didn't want to help me. You know, the whole, oh, separation of families is bad. We're separating your family. Anyway, see, I've got tons of evidence against the church. Listen to me. I'm an old man. I think there's gray. I think this is sort of gray. You know, listen to your old men, people. They know things. They've got experience. So, and as a result of knowing so much, I end up tangenting off on different topics. And so, what is this one? You know, it's Mormon cyberbullying is what I'm getting to. That's the whole thing with the advent of social media. So, millions of Mormons, remember, we had about 15 million, 12 to 15 million at the advent of social media. And I think it may have even been 16. I can't remember. I'd have to check the church membership statistics. But yeah, in 2014, the news was all over the evidence that was mounting that the church had lost in active membership millions of members. There was a mass exodus of members leaving the church, and they were trying to figure it out. John Dehlin, who was excommunicated by the church for exposing what it was that was causing the problem. That's all he did. He was a good, faithful Mormon boy, and the church attacked him because he was trying to figure out why Mormons are leaving. That's it. That's why he was excommunicated. They tried to silence him because he was a big voice on why people were leaving the church. He wasn't apostate. You know, the church made him. The church made him an enemy. the church made me an enemy. So if you're putting a thumbs down on my channel for any of my videos critical of the church, remember, it's the church who made me because I am right. You cannot allow critics to be silenced. You can't do it. You know, you've already protected yourself in the law because you're claiming to be a religion, even though in 1940 the church filed a sole corporation status. And in that sole corporation status, they changed from Jesus choosing who the president of the church is going to be to the president of the 12. So when Nelson gets up and says, "This is God's plan for choosing succession since Brigham Young," why Brigham Young? Why not Joseph Smith, first of all? And why are you not referring to 1940 when the sole corporation was filed in the state of Utah and is available in the church or the Utah archives for all to see because of the Freedom of Information Act? So the church can't cover things up. It's out there. And the internet is helping to expose the church. Remember Isaiah? The sins of the people shall be revealed on the rooftops. Anybody remember the Fahrenheit 451? When I saw that old classic TV show, oh well, it was on TV, it was a movie made for TV, so that's how I was able to watch it. And that's what it's all about. It's the future. Everybody had antennas on their roofs, and the first opening scene is showing antennas. And it was specifically referring to TV taking over books. But when I saw that, having a Mormon background, being born and raised in the church with both parents born and raised in the church, both serving missions. My mom served a mission. That's unusual. Not many women served in the mission field in her day. Because she served in technically my mission that I went on. Hers was the eastern states, which included Canada, where she went. And then it's gotten shortened down to where it was the New York mission, which had just shortened from including New Jersey. So New Jersey was cut off when I went. And so yes, we had a problem with missionaries who wanted to go back to New Jersey out of their mission to go see certain people and such, and that was causing a problem. But anyway, so yeah, cyberbullying, people.
Grandpa, you forgot to tell us about this.
I don't get to see my kids, remember? They were kidnapped. They've been brainwashed now. They think I'm the bad guy. Because that's what everybody did in covering up their crimes against me. So yeah, my kids have fallen prey to the abuse and bullying by my first wife, and the government of Utah, and the church was also involved, as well as our families. And they all justified it with the family proclamation. And so, yeah, Mormons were being told to stay away from the internet. You can't trust what's on the internet. Why? Because it was critical information about the church. You cannot silence truth. And Mormons were being told you can't rely on truth. You can't rely on what you read. It's unbelievable. And so that's the church's campaign strategy, was to attack critics with cyberbullying. They were trying to silence them in all forms and fashions. Gerald and Sandra Tanner were sued and attempted to have them silenced. They failed, so then they tried a different tactic of reverse psychology and give them an award for being the best preserver of church documents, admitting that Gerald and Sandra Tanner were correct in what they were exposing. What? Reverse psychology doesn't work, people. And then John Dehlin and others also were cyber-bullied into being silent. And the church was realizing, hey, wait a minute, we're getting exposed for silencing these people and cyberbullying them. This is backfiring. Yes, it backfires, people. You cannot be abusive as a church. And so now that's died off. So the Mormons that are remaining are the dumb ones. Yes, I said it. You're going to put a thumbs down. You've stopped my video now.
How dare you be critical of me and the church? The church is true. I feel it in every fiber of my being.
You're not listening to my videos. That's not how you establish truth. That's the change in doctrine that occurred. They changed it to the Christian doctrine of faith alone. And Mormons, you know better. Why? Because in seminary, institute, missions, etc., 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 you are taught faith without works is dead. Not faith alone. And yet you fell for it by the church. And that's what you're promoting. And you twisted the meaning of Moroni 10, 3-5 to say,
hey, yeah, all I have to do is read, ponder, and pray, and there's the truth. I now know factual evidence.
No, you don't. You messed up the whole interpretation, as I've been discussing in recent videos. Manifestation, fruit, any of these things ringing a bell. You can't just have a belief of truth and claim it's true. It doesn't work that way. You can't hold a seed in your hand and say, I believe it will feed me with the fruit thereof, and then not bother to plant it to get the fruit to feed yourself with, to confirm or manifest the truth. It's simple. This is not complicated doctrine. Christians have been messing it up, and now Mormons are messing it up because they've said, hey, well, it worked for Christians. They've been around for millennia. Oh my God. Why do you think the church, the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, the Holy Roman Empire, they've all been shattered? There are thousands of Christian churches originating from the Holy Roman Empire. Remember? Christians don't. Only one faith, one religion, one baptism. Christians know this scripture, but they're not putting it together with the thousands of religions.
Well, we all believe in Christ.
No, you don't. It's each a different Christ. Because if you believe in sprinkling baptism versus immersion baptism versus spiritual baptism, you're all believing in a different Jesus. Because Jesus believes in sprinkling, Jesus believes in immersion, Jesus believes in spiritual baptism. See, they're all different Jesuses. Different religions, different faiths. God, it is not hard. And so cyberbullying. what is Mormons doing? YouTube, Facebook, they're all allowing people to put dislikes or thumbs down on YouTube to show that they disapprove of people, regular people talking, communicating, expressing ideas. You know, this isn't a movie. This isn't some entertainment that I'm doing for you guys. See, that you can put a thumbs down for. I don't think his jokes were of that high caliber as his previous video, so I'm gonna give it a 3-star rating. No, this is people. They've allowed cyberbullying. That's what started it. And they now call it trolling. Cyberbullying is now called trolling. So when I call you a troll, that's what I'm referring to. It's those of you who are putting thumbs down on my videos without listening to the content. You know, if you disagree with my content and you think you have a legitimate argument, you can try to comment and discuss it with me, but you better be ready with knowledge, because I have the knowledge. Remember, I'm educated. I've learned how to learn. I've produced not just a fruit tree, but a whole vineyard. And my life's experience and status that I've had, the positions that I've had. You guys don't know. No man knows my history. Remember that Critical Against the Church book by Fawn Brody? So, but yeah, I mean, Fawn Brody didn't get it. She was attacking Joseph Smith when her attacks needed to be on Brigham Young. But how would you know that if you don't fact check people? You can't just fact check critics, because critics are fact checking the church. And so, Mormons, you can't argue that your church is correct by cyberbullying other people. It just doesn't work that way. You automatically lose your argument when you start cyberbullying. I don't go to other people who are trying to defend the church and put a thumbs down on their video. You know? And if by chance I have, I made sure to comment, but not attack them. I tried to discuss with them. Your particular fact here was incorrect. This is the actual fact. And I'll even do it on critics of the church, ex-Mormons who have left the church and are trying to help people transition into ex-Mormon life. I'm even letting them know, no, you're accusing Joseph Smith, it was Brigham Young. That's where your focus needs to be. I am independent. Ex-Mormons don't like me either. You know, because they've already got their set belief because of the church putting out the gospel topic essays. And so they believe the church. Oh, the church says that they're false, so therefore I believe them. Wait, what? The church admitted that they're false, and so now you believe them when they say that they were false? I fact-checked the church's gospel topic essays. The church is still lying about lying. That's how horrible they are. So stop the cyberbullying, Mormons. Learn the truth. And when you learn the truth, you've got only one choice to make. And that's, how fast do you leave it? Don't let cyberbullying dominate your thinking processes. Stop it. That's not Christ-like behavior. Jesus didn't put a thumbs down for Pharisees, you know, he just up and left. That's what Jesus did. He formed his own religion. Huh. Never thought about that, did you? Jesus formed his own religion. And in his religion, he formed a counter economy as well. He said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but they also had a system where all things were had in common. A counter economy. They took care of the poor. They took care of the needy. So in his little community, there were no poor. In Utah, has the church removed the poor? Nope. There are over 300,000 poor in Utah. 300,000. 100 homeless are statistically reported as dying each year. The church isn't taking care of the poor like Jesus did. Sorry, Mormons. Church ain't true. This isn't cyberbullying that I'm giving. This is fact. This is evidence. Fact and evidence is not cyberbullying. When Jesus quoted the Torah to the Pharisees, to those who challenged him about the Sabbath day violations, they were accusing Jesus of cyberbullying. And Jesus turned it on them, said, no, you are the bullies. You are the hypocrites. You are the whitewashing the sepulchres. Jesus defended himself. He stood up against the church leaders. That's right. Jesus was a rebel against the church. He formed his own church. Do you not get it, Mormons? So, cyberbullying. Let's cut it here at 30 minutes rather than being an hour. The church isn't true, and I testify to this. And then, see, I can do it too. If you don't have the facts and the evidence, you can't testify that you know the truth. You are lying. You are bearing false witness. And I've discussed that. See, on my website, soaring through views. Nobody likes or dislikes. You know, nobody shares. Occasionally, once in a blue moon, I'll have somebody trying to comment. I've got one person who I communicate through email. That person now believes and is wanting help in transitioning because it's been hard. Mormons attack people who learn the truth and need to get out. They're being bullied by making the right decisions. Leave people alone, Mormons. Stop being bullies. So there we go.